Joy Wilkes, it's exciting to chat with you, and thanks for offering this. To hear about your experience, you've taken our social media management certificate program, and you've been in several other trainings that I offer with both Karen and Jean Munoz.
Yes, I have. I've enjoyed them. Thank you for including me.
I'd love to hear about your experience now from taking the social media management certificate program. What were some takeaways? What are things you learned? Value it might have provided you?
Yeah, so the reason that I actually had the opportunity to take the courses is my work primarily involves gatherings with trade shows. And over the past year, because of COVID, that has really tapped down. So it gave me the opportunity to look around, learn some other new things about marketing. And social media is so important to every business that I felt like this would be a great place for me to learn more and expand my skill set.
Excellent. So what are some of the things you would share with people about the value of the social media management class, some takeaways, anything in particular from being in the 12-week program, which I'm excited, almost thanks to COVID, it's now going to be always available virtual, even if we have a classroom again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, taking the classes virtual really made it possible for me because I'm not located near you, Martin. So,
Right.
So that was great to be able to do that. In thinking about the courses and all the things that we learned, there were so many platforms that we were introduced to in the class. The thing that I took away from that is that it's really important to hone in on your audience, understand who they are, what their lifestyle is, and then selectively choose the right platform. So it's just a bit overwhelming when you think of all the different social media options that are offered and like, how can I learn all of these different platforms? But really, that's not necessary. What's most important is to understand who your audience is, whether it's their age, where they're spending time, and how they like to communicate, and then focus on the platform that reaches them where they are.
Excellent. And the other thing that's exciting is how we create a virtual sense of community with it. And I've seen you've reached out to some of the other students, and also we do group activity in it as well.
I always find inspiration in talking to entrepreneurs. It's just fascinating to me that they have ideas and they're willing to go out there and try them. And the classroom environment, the virtual classroom environment that we were in was terrific for that. We had a real mix of people who had been coming to your classes for a while and tried some of the strategies, and they're like testimonials and stories about that. But then there are also people who were just dreaming about starting their business. So it was a good place for them to kind of test their ideas and for us to talk and have that community.
You also gave a terrific capstone project, and that's to me one of my favorites in the class because everyone comes together with all the things they learned and shared it.
Well, my project was actually for my church, and things just have a way of coming together in ways that we don't always expect. When I had enrolled in the class, I had also just by chance been asked to lead the communications committee at my church. And the church needs, our church family needs some overhauling of that. So I was really able to take what I was learning and focus on what was happening in that organization and hone in on priorities and strategy for getting there. And what resulted was a plan that's probably going to take a year to implement, just because there's many layers and lots of folks that have to be involved in that process. But it really gave clarity towards a strategy for that going forward.
And that's an important piece in the class to understand that the project doesn't necessarily have to be directly related to the business, because you may not have control over all the aspects of where you're working or doing something else. So we just want something you focus on to apply and learn the principles in the class. And that was very exciting because you got ideas from helping your church that you now can transfer to the business world.
Of course.
And it's okay if you don't get it all done in the time period. That's what we want to understand. It's really just we want a real world connection. So you have this grounded in reality taking this 12-week course. And it's not just a bunch of ideas crammed in and you don't have a sense of application. The other thing I love is just how hearing everyone's, you can see like the gestalt of the whole class comes together.
Right.
People learn from each other. Karen and I and Jean that help out with it are just moved by how much people have gotten out of the class to hear it live. It sort of all brings it together in those final presentations. And what I want to make sure people know is this is not a Toastmasters challenge or a Shark Tank. This is friendly people supporting you in giving that presentation, so they aren't scared, oh my gosh, I'm going to be on the spot. And
I think it was great to get encouragement from people who wanted to explore this together, but they weren't really stakeholders in any one other person's business or project. So, it's great to have that outsider kind of view in for the encouragement without feeling like, oh, am I stepping on somebody's toes or letting somebody down or not going by the rules of this maybe municipality that I live in or whatever the environment is that has stakeholders that all have their own interests. So, we were able to just encourage and offer ideas and kudos, and that was really helpful.
any closing comments to people that are looking at taking this course?
Well, I would just say that the course was definitely worth the time investment and in class and away from class. It really got you thinking more strategically and breaking down the whole process for marketing into something that was, bit by bit that could be accomplished instead of it just being this overwhelming project that, was like the mountain before you and you just didn't know where to, start blazing the trail up it.
Joy, how can people learn more about you?
I am on LinkedIn. You can certainly reach out to me. It's Joy Wilkes. I would love to connect with you, and we can maybe help each other and build networks together as we navigate whatever is in store for the next 12 months or 2 years or what have you in the business world.
Yes, and I'll put the link below of your LinkedIn profile. Thanks so much. It's so exciting to hear people's progress from the class, and it was great having you in. Also, the follow-on monthly meeting we offer for no charge for graduates. It's fun when you drop in because you're in Atlanta and I'm in Raleigh, and this was possible being virtual like this. We also had someone from Boston, so it really opens up a much broader community that we can network with during this new transition.
Right. Yeah. And I'm from the Raleigh area, and so feel very connected to North Carolina. And many of the people like that were talking about their projects and where they were, and the examples were all really familiar to me. So it was kind of like a little trip back home at the same time.
Excellent. Thanks again. This was terrific.
All right. Take care.